Hi, greetings, returning preceptors. We are so excited to have you taking on a student again this summer. I just want to start by saying thank you so much. This is such an important part of our students' education and educational experience. Without you, they really don't get the full perspective. This is their chance, as you know, to apply some of the things that they have been studying in the classroom to actually see them in person. So thank you again. I just want to quickly remind you of a few things. So number one is we are trying to orient the experience around competency. So the internship is required to be competency based. These are our competencies, and I'll keep kind of coming back to that. A description is in the preceptor manual, which I'm going to send along with the slides. So as you think about what to do with the interns, please kind of bear in mind these are the things, these are the broad learning that we want them to do while they're with you. So as not changed is we are going to continue with having both the macro and work unit analysis, right? So both of these projects are very directive. There's a format in the manual. The students have a slightly different version than you do, but it's essentially you have essentially what they have. So it's scavenger hunt style. They're really going to need you to open doors to help them be able to get in, to meet with different people throughout your organization, particularly finance, if possible. One comment with finance is if your people, if your organization is hesitant to let them have access or get access to any sort of financials, if they could at least look at either a P&L for your department or at least look at the financials with someone. They don't have to like send them back to me. I'm the only person that sees any of this. So, whatever you can do to make sure that that's typically been the biggest sticking point is letting them see the financials. It's really a valuable part of the experience. So if you can help make that happen, that would be great. One other kind of comment was the work unit analysis. Some of you are in the C-suite or you're the executive director of an organization. And so the student is reporting to you directly. And so the work unit is also kind of is covered in the macro analysis. So what I'm telling the students to do is, so for example, if they're working in the C-suite under the vice president of operations, for example, have them pick a department to do their work unit analysis in. So Department of Nursing, Department of Radiology, something like that. If you're the ED of a skilled nursing facility, again, have them pick a department. They can go do Department of Nursing, they could do nutrition, they could do, activities, whatever it is. They then can take the scavenger hunt list, if you will, for work unit and apply it there. And just the bottom line is they should be doing this independently, but they're going to need you to open doors for them. One change that I'm making this year based on your feedback is the requirement for a project. So what we're doing this year is instead of asking you to find a 40-hour project for them to do, based on your feedback, that's a lot. It's hard to find something that big. So what we'd like to do is still have them engaged in project-based learning, because that's really the best way for them to exercise those competencies. But we'd like them to do 2 to 4. My goal would be 3 projects of a smaller scale. They're, going to take them 10 hours, 10 to 15 hours each, right? And have them kind of build a little portfolio of things that they've done. One bigger project is fine. If you've got something really big that would work for you and work for them, that's also great. I've also simplified the project report. It's in the manual. You'll be getting a copy of the manual. Again, the goal of the project is to help them touch on the different competencies we're requiring. So some great projects in the past have been really anything connected to process improvement, where they can go out and try to map a process and then meet with leaders and talk about how the process can be improved. Fabulous. You could do a marketing analysis to look at, who's actually using the services. They have developed marketing materials. Some students have run events like a golf tournament, which gives them great project management experience. So any of those sorts of things are great. If you're having trouble coming up with something, feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to talk about some of the things we've seen in the past. I wanted to talk about the student evaluation. So the evaluation forms are in the manual. They are really, it's basically just a rundown of the competencies. So I'm asking you to write a short comment on each of their competencies. So again, while they're with you, please try to pay attention to those competencies. It really is just needs improvement or satisfactory. So, and the level of performance I expect is for them to be basically functioning at a new higher level. Like if they're a junior analyst or they're a patient service rep or something, are they performing at a level that you would expect for someone coming out of college? They're not supposed to be performing at, a level of someone 5 years with 5 years of experience. The student should submit to you a self-evaluation, again, of their perspective on their competencies and their plan to improve each of those competencies based on their experiences. They should get that to you at least a week before the end of the internship so that you have some time to write your response. And then ideally, you would sit down with them before they leave so that they get that really vital feedback from you. What I tell them as they get ready to go out into the field is the most important thing that they should come back with is a recommendation from you, right? So their goal should be to impress you with their dedication, with their willingness to try and their ability, right? And that's what we want them to do. So that's what I tell them throughout the course of the year is their goal is to impress you and have you, want to rave about them at the end. Now, if they aren't rave worthy, please let them know that where they need to improve. And speaking of improvement, if you have any problems with a student with punctuality, with how they're dressing, their professionalism while they're on the job, please let me know as soon as possible. I will intervene and I can make a trip to wherever you are. I will definitely talk to the student. I will make it a point of having regular communication with them if this is a problem. Uh, and hopefully hopefully you won't have this problem at all because we've talked a lot about it. But every year we get one or two that need a little bit more attention. So again, please let me know ASAP if a student is struggling. If you feel you have to counsel them, let me know. If you don't think I need to intervene, but I would just rather know earlier than show up for the midpoint or slightly after midpoint visit and have you say, yeah, the person, this kid is not showing up on time. They're not dressing appropriately. They're whatever. They're not reliable. I just don't want you suffering through that. I'd like to nip that in the bud as quickly as possible. Finally, I will, as you know, I try to make a site visit somewhere in late June to July probably to check in with you, see the student in action, and if you remember what I asked the way I organized the meeting is the three of us meet together. The student briefs me on their experiences so far, so you can kind of hear in their own words what they're telling me. Then we kick the student out, and you and I talk about the student, and then I'll meet with the student afterwards to kind of discuss privately with them your feedback as well as kind of how they're feeling about the experience. So that's it. Please contact me anytime with questions. I love to hear. I mean, if things are going great, I love to hear that too. So my email is right here, mark.bonica@unh.edu. My cell is 703-300-3206. Yes, it's 7, not 6. That's a Virginia area code. I've just never changed it. So again, thank you so much for your support of the students. And I look forward to seeing you this summer. I am really excited and hope you really enjoy them.